We're here with Malcolm Garrity of Intertek. Malcolm has been looking into the issue of risk. Now that offshore wind farms are becoming increasingly large and very expensive, it has become essential to be able to attract investors, outside investors. And it's become clear that the perception of risk changes between the different actors involved in this sector. Malcolm, how do you see that?
It's basically market maturation. You're finding a lot of different people wanting to come in. Larger projects tend to cost a lot more. Historically, the big utilities have done them all on balance sheet. That is really no longer an option with the size of these projects, hence the reason that we need to go out and look at lenders, financiers, private equity to come along into the marketplace to finance future developments.
And what processes do developers need to put in place to properly identify risks and explain them to external financiers?
Well, developers at the moment are looking at risk. However, what we have to understand is the different perception of risk within the financial community. Risks that may well have been discounted for internal purposes are now looked at very, very closely, and the high impact, low probability risk is becoming much more important to the likes of lenders, because if it were to be the case where, let's say, a major subcontractor went bust halfway through cable installation, it could have a major impact on the project. Now, historically, that's been discounted as not really a possibility, or it's been a high impact but very, very low possibility. Internal processes with the utilities would have discounted that. However, the lenders see that as major, because they have seen historically that happening of cable installation suppliers going bust, or even foundation manufacturers going bust. So these are high impact but very low probability, but they do happen. And projects now have to look at a wider spectrum of risk than they have done previously.
And now in this new world where developers have to be very careful to identify and manage risks, what role can companies such as Intertek play in assisting them doing this?
Well, basically what we would be looking at doing is ensuring that the data collected during the survey process is correct, is analysed, well, one is collected properly, is scoped up properly, and is of a standard that is sufficient to be utilised by the contractors to come up with designs that will fulfil the necessary needs for the project. For example, you don't want to be designing a pile with a thin wall if you've got a heavily cemented sandstone or sand where you could end up buckling your pile. So it's helping developers to understand the impact of the quality of data and how that data is interpreted, that we come along and can help them with.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.